हरे कृष्णा माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम.
Dandavat Pranam. So, welcome to week 34. So, we'll do week 34 today. So, we'll start the session by Nagraj Prabhuji. I'm sharing it on screen. You can just start the reading. Yeah. Please start.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. My voice is audible.
Yes.
Week number 34, passage for discussion. The shloka is chapter 7, text 5. Apareyam itastav annayam prakatim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabhavo vedam bharyate jagat.
Okay, so we'll just repeat this. All of you repeat with me so that we get the pronunciations clear. Apareyam itastanyam
Apareyam itastanyam
prakritim vidhi me param
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां
Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho
जीवभूतां महाभावो
Aedam Dharyate Jagat
येदं धार्यते जगत्
Apareyam Itastanyam
अपरेयं वितस्तन्यं
Prakritim Vidhi Me Param
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां
Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho
जीवभूतां महाभावो
Aedam Dharyate Jagat
येदं धार्यते जगत्
Apareyam Itastanyam
अपरेयं वितस्त्वन्यां
Prakritim Vidhi Me Param
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां
Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho
जीवभूतां महाभावो
Aedam Dharyate Jagat.
येदं धारते जगत्.
So I'll just read the word meanings. Apara, inferior. Yam, this. Itha, besides this. Tu, but. Anyam, another. Prakritin, energy. Vidhi, just try to understand. May, mind. Param, superior. Jiva Bhutam, comprising the living entities. Mahabaho, O mighty armed one. Yaya, by whom? Idam, this. Dharyate is utilized or exploited. Jagat, the material world. Yeah, so you can read the translation.
Yeah, translation to verse 5, chapter 6, 7. Besides these, besides this inferior nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mind, which is our all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe.
Okay. So we'll just discuss this once. Now, before going to the purport, we'll just discuss this. See the first line, apare yam itastvanyam. So here it means besides this. So it refers to the inferior energy of the Lord, which is called apara, prakriti or material energy. Now this has been described in the previous shloka 7.4. We'll quickly touch upon that, then we'll have a better understanding. So it is Bhumir Apo Nalo Vayo Khammano Buddhir Evacha Ahankara Iti Yamme Himna Prakriti Ashtada. So here Bhumi means earth, Apo water, Nalo fire, Vayu air, Kham that is ether. So these five are the gross elements, that is the gross body which we have. And then we have the Mano Buddhi Ahankar, that is mind, intelligence, and false ego that constitutes our subtle body. And in this sloka, which we are taken up today, in that we are talking of the spiritual energy, or that is para prakriti, or we also call it jiva shakti. But Krishna is the source of both, that is the material and the spiritual energies. So this entire material world is composed of these two energies only, that is material and spiritual, and all comes from Krishna. Okay. Uh, So I'll just tell a brief this about how all this material world is created. Just very briefly, I'll say that is Lord Krishna in the spiritual world. After a series of expansion, what he does, he assumes the shape, the form of a extraordinary gigantic Mahavishnu. Yeah, and what he does, he is lying in the causal ocean, and once he breathes once he breathes out, what happens is innumerable universes come out from the pores of his body, and these universes, they start growing, and they move outwards, and they just look like tiny bubbles in the causal ocean. Okay, now then what happened, Mahavishnu expands himself as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and he enters each of these universes, and he fills half the universe with the perspiration from his body and lies down in that. And I think every one of us must have seen the picture of, from the navel, the lotus stem coming up, and Brahmaji is on the top of it, sitting on the lotus. So that stem contains the 14 planets. Yeah, and then so the first creation is Brahma, and Brahmaji, then he is like very confused, as we know. Then he does a lot of penances, and he gets then Vishnu gives him the knowledge how to create, and that is how the creation has happened. So this Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, as he enters the each universe, it is like the soul of the universe. Just like our body, if the soul leaves the body, then the body can no longer function, we are dead. So that spiritual energy, that soul is very important. So for the universe, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is that soul of the universe. That is how the universe comes to life. And the third expansion, that is that of Shirodakashayi Vishnu. That is, he enters each and every being, each and every atom as Paramatma, super soul. Okay, so these are the three expansions, and we are talking of material and spiritual energies. But we also say that the Jiva is also called Tathastha Shakti, or the marginal energy. So, since the Jivatma is marginal energy, either he has to get attached to the spiritual energy or to the inferior energy. Okay, I think that's it. Now we can start with the purport.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter manifested in the different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross earth, etc., and the uh, material body, mind, etc., are a product of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for a different purpose are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord, and it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy. The living entity energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have to independent they have no
No
independent
independent.
no
Yes.
independent existence. They are never equally powerful as unintelligent men think. The distinction between the living entities and the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam as follows. Canto 10, chapter 87, verse 30. Hare Krishna. Can I read the verse?
Yes, please continue.
Yeah. The verse Aparamita
I'll read.
Druvasa. Yeah, you read.
अपरिमित ध्रुवस्तनुभृतो यदि सर्वगतास् तर्हि न शस्यतेति नियमो ध्रुवनेतरथा अजनि च यन्मयं तद् अविमुच्य नियन्त्र भवेत् समम् अनुजानतं यद् अमतं मत दुष्टयतया. Yeah, now you can read.
Yeah. O Supreme Eternal, if the embodied living entities were eternal and all are pervading like you, then they would not have, then they would not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your lordship, then they are at once subject to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation entails the surrender by the living entities to your control, and that surrender will make them happy. In that constitutional position, only can they be controllers. Therefore, men with the limited knowledge who advocate the monastic theory that God and the living entities are equal in all the respects are actually misleading themselves and others. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. The living entities are his superior energy because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme, but they are never equal to the Lord in the quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and the subtle inferior energy, matter, the superior energy, the, the living entity, forgets his real spiritual mind and intelligence.
I think we'll discuss this much and then again go back. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the supreme Lord. Now, why is the spiritual energy said to be superior? Because without the spiritual energy, the material energy cannot sustain. Right? That is why it is said to be superior. Like we know that once the soul leaves our body, then I mean the body will not function anymore. That is the importance of the spiritual energy. Okay. And the other things are self-explanatory. Yeah. Then the control. We all know we are all part of the Lord. Yeah. Mame Vangsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We all know that we are a part of the Lord. And therefore, what happens? We have to always like the serve the whole. That is the purpose of a part. A part should always serve the whole. As we always give that example of, suppose if our hand is detached from the body, then the hand becomes useless. So only when the hand is attached to the body that it has got some function. Similarly, if we are not attached to the Lord, then our life really has no meaning, right? So it is, so we cannot independently exist. Our if we try to exist independently, then our life is useless because we are a part of Krishna. So we have to serve him. And unless we are serving him, we are engaged in the devotional service, our life has got no meaning. We are just wasting time. That is all that is happening. So therefore, and the Lord is controlling us because, yes, because we are a part of him. So naturally, the ultimate control is with the Lord. What has he done? He has given us very minute independence. He's given us very minute independence in the sense that he is there within us, like super soul, that is as Paramatma. But there, what he is doing, he is an observer. He is there as an observer. Yeah. So, like if we have some desire, then he will see whether I mean, he can grant it to us or not. That he will see, but he will not stop us from whatever we want. He will not stop us. So, and because we have misused that minute independence of ours, that is why we are here today. If we had not misused it, then we would have been in the spiritual world. But we are not there. That is because we misused it. So therefore we have to understand that, unless we are always connected to the Lord, if we the only desire should be to please Krishna. We should do everything just to please him. And and we should accept that control, that Lord is the ultimate control. We should accept that. The sooner we accept that, better for us. Okay. And yeah, the second paragraph also speaks of that only, that since we are the energies, and Lord is the energetic. Yeah, so Lord is the energetic and we are the energies. So naturally the energetic will control the energy. Yeah. Any other point? So he's the controller. Yeah, now you can continue.
While exploiting the gross and the subtle inferior energy matter, the superior energy, the
Just a
living.
minute.
Yeah,
Prabhuji, Pangshi Mataji has raised her hand.
yeah, she
You
can.
want to read, is it?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat
Okay,
Pranam.
okay, you can read.
While exploiting the gross and subtle inferior energy matter, the superior energy, the living entity, forget its real spiritual mind and intelligence. This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity. But when the living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains the stage called mukti or liberation. The false ego, under the influence of material illusion, thinks, I am matter and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his becoming one in all respect with God. Therefore, one may conclude that Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of the material energies of Krishna and
Multi-energies.
multi energies of Krishna, and when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it is the same thing that we should not forget, you know, that we are part and parcel of the Lord. So therefore, we have to constantly remember this, and we should try and be in the service of Krishna. See, the thing is that we just cannot be, not doing anything. Either we will have to be in the service of Krishna or in the service of Maya, right? So we have to therefore constantly remain attached to Krishna so that we can be free from the clutches of Maya. Then only we can think of liberation, not otherwise. Okay. And what else? Yeah. So, and what is the way? What is the way of remaining this? That, Krishna himself has said in this chapter only, the 14th sloka, that is Daivihi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya, then Mame Vaye Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. That is, just read out the translation of that. Krishna himself says, this divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So the main thing that we have to do is we have to surrender to Krishna. Then only we can overcome this Maya, because otherwise Maya is very strong and it is very difficult to get out of it, right? So we have, I think now we can ask Narad Pran Prabhuji if he wants to say something. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, very
Hare
well
Krishna.
explained. Very well explained. Thank you very much. And I think most of the things you have already explained. I want to just stress on few points. The first thing you have said, the story of Ekadasi. Very good. Today being the Indra Ekadasi, which is very important. That's why this is the instruction of the Acharya of our Krishna conscious parampara, that as at least we should do the fasting on Ekadasi every month. There are 2 Ekadasis in a month, so we should fast in this. This will help us to remove the layers of material on our heart. It is a cleaning process. It is the process by which we come nearer to the Lord. So we should be, everybody of this, those who are interested in becoming Krishna conscious must try to keep the fasting of Ekadasi every month there too. So this is a very important point, second, you have mentioned. And we should read the Katha of Ekadasi, how they are important, like Indra Ekadasi. See how the people, those who are in a hell because of their past karma, can be relieved from that hell position by the Ekadasi fasting by their children. So similarly, we should also try to do the Ekadasi fast and pray, Lord, that our forefathers, which are maybe there or wherever they are there, they should be freed from the clutches of Maya and should be relieved to the Golokdham, Davandham. So this is one point which I want to say. Now, second is chewing the chewed. This is a very common point which has been referred in our Shastras. What we are doing, we are chewing the chewed. The example is like, sometimes, this sugar cane, we take the sugar cane, cut into pieces, then chew the sugar cane, and after chewing it, we throw it out. Can you again take this, which you have thrown out, can you again take that and again start chewing? No, nobody can do that. Nobody, because you know that this has been already finished and it become useless. But same thing we are doing in our life. In case of sugar cane, we are not taking that again. But in case of our life, body, we are again taking. We have finished one body, died, again we have taken the birth and doing the same thing. Same process we are doing. We are taking birth, growing up, becoming adult, then performing the duties, then becoming a taking the marriage, etc., producing the children. Then they become old, and your children become. They also do the same thing. And again, when we die, after when the time comes, we die again. We start new birth and do the same thing. This is called chewing the chew. Sarvanam Sarveti. The Shastra says you are doing whatever you have chewed and thrown out. Again, you are doing. That means we are so much covered by the Maya that we start taking interest on those things which we have just done. So because we don't remember what we have done. That is the law of Lord Krishna that we don't remember. So this is a very important one. We should not try to keep on doing on the cycle like birth, death, and birth, death, and going on for so many years, wasting our life and time. So what we should do, this con says, the Krishna conscious process says, we should understand that this is the process of repeating ourselves, which is of no use. What we should do, we should try to come out from the cycle of birth and death. The cycle of birth and death should be broken. And how it can be broken? If you can connect with the Krishna. If you become Krishna conscious, the cycle will be broken. Because Krishna is the supreme controller. All the energies are of him only. And this infinite energy is very, very, very small, or we can say very weak. If you become connected to Krishna, this energy can be overcome easily. So we should try to come out from the cycle of birth and death. We should think over that this is our last birth. No more birth we will have. So for that, what we have to do, we should immediately, without wasting our time, we should become connected to Krishna. If you become connected to Krishna, as Acharya says, as Shastra says, 100% we will be liberated. Liberated means we will leave this material world, we will leave this body, we will leave everything, we will go straight away to Guru Dham Vrindavan Dham. And then we stay there forever with the Lord Krishna and perform in their activity, in the Leela and in the Karma. So that is our object actually. The object of all of us as a Vaishnava is to go back to Godhead, full of Dham, by breaking the cycle of birth and death. This is a very important point to understand. Next is Bhakti Yoga. Actually, we have read in that there are 4 yogas: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. But if you see in detail, the Bhakti Yoga is already covering everything. Even Bhakti Yoga has Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga also. So if you come to Bhakti Yoga, it means that you have already acquired this Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, everything. So bhakti is the highest. And this is called the yoga for the modern age. Because we are all busy, we have no knowledge, we have short time. So that's why the best thing is to bhakti yoga in this Kali Yoga to get out from this cycle of birth and death. So bhakti yoga is the highest thing, and you know that this bhakti yoga is already covering Karimo Jnano Jnano. So if you know bhakti yoga, everything is covered. And what is the bhakti yoga? There are 9% of bhakti, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Samam, Sevanam, Archanam, Bandram, Dasam, Shaktam, Atmavedam. So you select any process. And in Bhakti, in Krishna conscious movement of Srila Prabhupada, we are doing Japa on Mala, and we are covering three Bhakti, Sravanam, Kirtanam, and Vishnu Smaranam. So by these three Bhakti, it is sufficient to get out from the cycle of birth and death. And we can be liberated. Liberated means we will go to Golodham. So Bhakti Yoga is the highest thing. And in the modern age, this is the right thing which you should do, but we don't have much time. So Bhakti 9% we have seen. Then Mataji explained the expansion of Lord Krishna. Very good. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, chapter 10, text number 8, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate, iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samuti. Lord Krishna says very clearly, why don't we understand? He says everything is covered, everything is created by me, it has come from me, and ultimately it is going to me back. When the prayer comes, everything will go back to Godhead. So we should understand that everything has come out from the Krishna. That he is the source. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidanand Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karan Karan. He is the reason for everything. Whatever you see, whatever is done, that we have to understand. So why not we should go to the source? Why should we waste our time in other things, paraphernalia? We should go to the source. And source is nothing but Lord Krishna. So these are the points which we have just she has already covered. I want to stress. And then I think it is mostly covered. Now, if anybody has any question, then we can discuss. Otherwise, you read the questions answers. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think we can start with the question answers.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Shall I read?
Yeah, just read a little louder. I think your sound is not very clear.
Okay.
Just a little louder. Yeah.
Now it is clear.
Yes.
The question answer. Part 1 Discovery. Question 1 What is the two energies or the living entities made up of? Name in which aspect of the living entity being living entity belong to each of the energies? The answer to is in the translation itself. As explained in the verse that the living entities are made of the two types of energies. One is inferior energy, aspara prakriti, apara prakriti. This refers to the material energy which includes the physical body and the mind. Superior energy, para prakriti or jiva shakti. This is the spiritual energy which includes the soul, the jiva. The physical body and the mind belong to the inferior energy, while the soul belongs to the superior energy, that is supreme law. Now, part 2 understanding. Question 1 Why is the living entity always controlled and not independent? The answer to this in the first paragraph of the purport to the verse 5 of the chapter 7. In the beginning of the verse only it is explained that the living beings are always controlled and not independent because they are part of the Supreme Lord's spiritual energy. This means they are they rely on the Supreme Energy for their existence and functioning. Material energy binds living beings through the nature of modes, while the spiritual energy connects to the soul to the Supreme Lord. Second is why do the living entities forget that they are controlled by the Lord? Into this, the middle explanation text of the purpose. in its explanation purport that the living entities forget that they are controlled by the Lord because they are influenced by the material energy, which are the superior energy of the Lord. The material energy, which is inferior to the spiritual energy, binds the living entities through the modes of nature, influences them to become entangled with the material world, that is, desires and distractions. As a result of this, they lose the awareness of their true spiritual nature and their connection to the Supreme Lord. Question number
It's
three.
just the influence of Maya.
Yeah,
Because of the influence of
material
Maya.
world. Yeah.
Yeah. Next
Question,
one.
question number three. When we can be called liberated or fully Krishna conscious? The answer to this question is at the end, the fag end of the explanation to the purport. Explanation: in the later portion of the part, it is explained that one can be called liberated or fully Krishna conscious when they are no longer influenced by the material energy and are fully engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. This state is achieved when the soul is completely connected to the Supreme Lord through the spiritual energy, transcending to the modes of material nature.
Application. Now, this is for everyone. Do you experience that you are gradually becoming liberated from the influence of the material energy? Share in what ways this is happening. So, this question is open to all. Anyone can answer it. Please raise hand or just start speaking. Yeah, you can continue, Nagraj Prabhuji, if you have the
Yeah,
answer.
yes, yes. As it is said that we now our body has got the three partitions. One is the inner soul, and the other two are the subtle body and the material body. The first soul is connected with the Supreme Lord, whereas our subtle body and the material body are connected to the material nature, right? Which is made out of the material resources, water, earth, and the other energies. But whereas our mind is also controlled by these energies only. So that's why there is a deviation, there is a distractions, and that's we are dictated by our desires. And I think when we start understanding the importance of the spiritual awareness, gradually one by one, I think I have also overcome that. It is not getting distracted of eating some of things. Where in my homely there are two types of foods are prepared, one for me, one for others. So in that way, I have controlling myself. And the evening, I have stopped eating food, take only fruits and that.